You can build this tonight without ever turning on a camera. A real-looking person looking down the lens, reading your script, and nobody can tell you didn't film it. That's the whole job of an AI avatar. The tool I'll be in for it is Creatify. So here's where we're going. You'll cast that person, you'll give them a voice, you'll hand them your words, you'll render it, and you'll walk out with an ad you'd actually run. I'm Cole. I ran the paid social creative as the only marketer at a small shop for years. I've shipped plenty of ads that worked and plenty that died on the launchpad. AI avatar ads die in one very specific way, and it's worth 30 seconds before the first click. People generate an avatar. They watch the little preview, they think, that looks fine. They ship it, and it dies in the feed. So here is rule 1, and the whole video hangs off it. The preview is not the take. What you see in that preview window is a rough approximation. The real version only exists after you render, so you never judge it off the preview. You render it, then you judge. Hold on to that one line, because every choice we make from here serves it. Now let me show you why it's so unforgiving. Then we build the thing. Start with what actually kills these ads. It isn't the whole video, it's the first second. That tiny window is where a viewer's brain decides one thing: real person or fake. And the second they decide fake, they're gone, scrolling. Your hook never even gets read. So the entire game is surviving that first second. Now, you've heard one of two things about AI avatars. Either they look incredible now, or they're hopelessly creepy. Both are wrong. Creatify runs a model they call Aurora. The pitch is strong, 24 frames a second of lip sync, and output they say testers compared favorably to real footage. That's the marketing. What's actually true is narrower and a lot more useful to you. The engine looks real inside a tight envelope. It leaks the moment you step outside it. It holds up on a short, calm, chest-up read. It starts to fall apart on long takes, on hard consonants, on big emotional swings. So the realism problem is not solved, it's bounded. And your whole job, start to finish, is keeping the build inside the bounds. That's actually good news, because the bounds are simple. Cast a face chest up in a believable room. Keep the energy calm, keep the read short. Do those three things, and the engine has almost nothing to give itself away with. Step outside them, and every flaw it has lands in the exact second you can least afford it. So we're not trying to fool anyone, we're just feeding the engine only what it renders well. Here's the mechanism underneath rule 1. The preview and the render are two different things. The preview is a fast, loose approximation, so you can lay the video out. The render is the real take, computed properly. And the lip sync only locks in there. Creatify's own help docs say it plainly. The preview will not sync perfectly. You have to render to see the true result. So you treat that preview as a layout tool, nothing more. You judge the render. Write that on your hand if you have to. It's the one habit that separates ads that ship from ads that embarrass you. There's one more guardrail, and it isn't about looks. It's about staying live. Meta and TikTok both run synthetic media rules now. An AI avatar delivering a first-person customer testimonial gets flagged. It gets rejected, and it quietly dings your ad account. So we never let the avatar pretend to be a real customer. It's a narrator, a presenter. The face that hands the viewer a benefit and points them somewhere. That keeps you compliant. And honestly, it converts better anyway, because nobody believes the fake testimonial. So keep it honest, keep it bounded, render before you trust a frame. So that's the whole theory. Now the plan. Cast the avatar, set the voice, load the script, then render. You'll get far more out of this building it alongside me. So let me clear the boring bit first. Quick and honest, then we build. If you want to open it up next to me, the link's right below. stackinspectors.com/creatify. It drops you straight in. The reason I learn on this one is the on-ramp. The free tier lets you in with no card. You get 10 credits. That's enough for a take or two. So you can cast an avatar and hear it read your words before you've spent a thing. That's rare. It's the whole reason it's a good place to learn on. The catch on free is a watermark, burned into the corner of every take. The platforms read that as low quality. So free is for learning, not for shipping. That watermark comes off at the first paid step, around $25 a month on annual billing. And that's the only number I'll bother you with today. Everything from here is about the craft, not the cost. So go set up your account if you're following along. Then meet me back on the dashboard. First job, open the builder and cast the face that's going to sell this. Because that one choice is where most of these ads quietly die. Start on the home screen. It just asks, what are you making today? With the creation tools laid out in a grid. We want the one labeled avatar video. Click it and it drops us into the generator. There's a lot on this screen, so let me orient you. Down the left, you pick a face from the avatar library, or you drag in your own photo if you'd rather use a real person. Over on the right is the empty script box, waiting for your words. And down at the bottom, the credit meter. It ticks per clip, so you always know what a render is going to cost before you commit a single credit. Now, the avatar library is the trap, and it's a quiet one. There are well over 1,000 faces in here, and the instinct is to scroll for the coolest looking one, the dramatic close-up, the high-energy presenter staring you down. Don't. Cool is not the job. Survivable is the job. You want chest-up framing, calm energy, a believable room behind them, a study, an office, a kitchen, and here's exactly why that works, because it's pure engine mechanics. The tells the model can't fully hide. A little lip drift, an off-axis glance, are smallest at medium distance and biggest in close-up. A tight close-up magnifies the exact frames the engine is weakest on. A calm, chest-up face in a real room hides them. So you cast for framing first, personality second. Pick the one that fits, and it loads straight into the editor. It's previewing live on the left. There's a small avatar prompt box underneath, and a voice already attached, ready for us to change. So that's the face cast. Now we make it perform. Now let's dial how this person performs. Because two things decide whether they read human or robotic: the avatar and the voice. Start with the avatar. The right panel is where your input lives, and it gives you a choice up top. You can type a script, or you can upload your own recorded audio if you'd rather drive it from a real voice take. We're typing today, so leave it on the script tab. But before we type, look under the preview on the left. There's that prompt box, and next to it, a guidance dial. That dial controls how hard the avatar tries to follow your direction. And this is exactly where people overcook it. Crank the guidance to the top, ask for big, expressive energy, and the avatar overperforms. It pushes straight into the creepy zone. Too sharp, too animated, and suddenly it reads as a puppet instead of a person. So keep that dial moderate. You want grounded, not theatrical. The calmest version almost always renders the most human. Now the script goes in the panel on the right. This is our example for the whole build. A short ad for an SEO tool. The kind of line that says your competitor outranks you, and it isn't the writing, it's who's linking to them. 8 seconds, one clean idea. Notice I'm not pasting a paragraph. Short is the whole strategy, and I'll show you exactly why in a second. With the words in, the avatar on the left is already mouthing along in the preview. And that, remember rule 1, tells you almost nothing yet. That's the layout, not the real sync. Don't fall in love with it here. Now the voice. And this is where AI ads get caught even faster than on the face. Your ear forgives a picture. It does not forgive a flat read. Open the voice picker and you get a whole library of voices. Single name cards, each one tagged by gender, by age, by accent, so you can filter down fast. These ride on 11 labs underneath, which is a genuinely strong engine. But there are two honest things about this screen. One, the stock voices are where robotic comes from. They're fine in short bursts. They flatten on longer reads. So audition 2 or 3 of them on your actual line. Don't use a generic hello. Use your real sentence, the one in your script. The voice stumbles on the specific words you chose, and a throwaway test phrase hides exactly those stumbles. 2. See the slot up top to clone your own voice? On this account, it reads 0 slots available, because cloning is locked behind a higher tier. And that's the real fix for the robotic problem, your own voice coming out of the avatar. But it costs more, and here's the catch: even then, a cloned voice still flattens past about 20 seconds, which is the same lesson arriving from 2 different directions. Keep the read short. A short line is where the face and the voice are both at their strongest. So pick a library voice that holds up on your real sentence and lock it in. Now the editor shows the full script loaded on the right, the avatar on the left, the voice model set underneath. Everything's wired, and we're one step from the part that actually decides the lip sync. Last build job: load the script in clean and get the lip sync right. And it comes down to the one thing nobody mentions: punctuation. Creatify's sync engine runs on your punctuation marks. It only accepts 4 of them: a period, a comma, an exclamation point, a question mark, and it auto-inserts a pause wherever you place a comma or a period. So a clean, correctly punctuated script is not a style choice. It is a sync instruction, read literally by the engine. A stray double space breaks it. A weird symbol pasted in from somewhere breaks it. A comma dropped in the wrong spot becomes a stumble in the mouth on the render. So before you generate anything, you clean the punctuation like it's part of the engineering. Because it genuinely is. Now, open the prompt board here in the voice sync panel. This is a nice touch. You can record a quick tone reference. Read the line out loud the way you'd actually say it. The delivery then adapts its pitch and feel to match how you said it. It's a small move. It buys a surprising amount of warmth. And if you're staring at a blank script box to begin with, there's a generated option sitting right there. It drafts you a first pass from a prompt, so you're never starting completely cold. Edit that down, set your tone, and the ad is genuinely assembled now. Face, voice, words all wired together into one take, which feels exactly like the finish line. It is not the finish line. Before you hit generate, 2 finishing passes. They decide whether this looks like an ad or a draft. First, lock the voice. You can see the model set on the assembled take, the avatar previewing the exact line it's about to read. Play it back in your head against rule 1. This is still the preview, so all you're checking here is that the words of your script and the face are wired to the right voice, not whether the sync is perfect. That judgment comes after the render, always. While you're here, give the script one last read for those punctuation traps. Every comma is a pause the engine will actually take. Every run-on you didn't fix is a place the mouth keeps moving when it should rest. 30 seconds of cleanup here saves you a wasted render. Second, captions. This one's easy to skip and expensive to skip. Almost every ad that performs in the feed is watched on mute. The words on screen are doing the selling. There's a caption style step right here. A grid of preset looks, big, bold styles built for vertical video and the way people actually scroll. Pick one that's legible at a glance. Nothing fussy, high contrast, fat letters. A caption nobody can read in half a second is a caption that isn't working at all. And match the style to the read. If your line has a punchy hook word, use a style that pops one word at a time. It lands harder than a flat block of text. Set the style, and now the whole thing is genuinely assembled. The face cast for framing, the voice picked for your real line, the script punctuated clean, the captions on. And this is the exact moment everyone wants to call it done. It is not done. It's a finished preview. So here's the part to actually plan for. You render it. You watch the rendered version back honestly, and roughly a third of your takes will carry a tell, a half second of lip drift, a glance that lands a frame wrong, a word the voice swallowed, and you throw those away without a second thought. That's not failure, that's the process working. So you batch from the start, generate a little over the number you actually need, render them all, keep the clean ones, bin the rest. The wins hide in the batch. And here's where the batching actually happens, because the single fastest thing to swap is the face. Go back into the avatar source on the left and open the picker again. It's the same library grid you cast from earlier, but now use the filters down the rail, by scene, by age, by the kind of look you're after, and grab a completely different one. Same script, same voice, a new face. This is how you find the avatar that actually survives your specific hook, instead of betting the whole ad on your very first guess. Drop the new face in, and the editor reloads with your exact script already sitting on it. You're not rebuilding anything, you're just trying on a different presenter, in seconds flat. My rule of thumb is 3 faces per script. One that matches the obvious read, one a little older or more authoritative, and one wild card you wouldn't have picked. The wild card wins more often than you'd think, because it surprises the scroll. Then you queue them up and you render. And this is the payoff. The thing the preview was only ever pretending to be. Here's a rendered take coming back now. A real, computed version of your avatar reading the line. The lip sync locked in properly, the framing settled, the way the feed will actually see it. This, finally, is the one you judge. You watch it back cold, no excuses. Does it hold that first second? Does the mouth track cleanly on the hard consonants? Does the voice land or does it flatten out? Watch it once on mute, too, the way most people will see it, and see if the captions carry it alone. If it survives, it ships. And if it doesn't, you've still got the other takes from the batch sitting right there. One of them usually does. Cast it calm, voice it short, punctuate it clean, render it, and judge the render. Do all 5, and the thing holds up in the only window that ever mattered. The first second. If you remember one thing from this, make it this. The preview lies. Render, then judge. Everything else hangs off that. We cast a calm, chest-up face so the engine had less to hide. We picked a voice that held up on the real line, and we kept the read short. Then we cleaned the punctuation, because that's what the sync actually runs on. And we rendered before trusting a single frame. 3 moves. Cast, dial, load. Every one of them was about keeping the build inside the narrow window where this engine genuinely looks real. The free tier's enough to do this whole thing once. Cast an avatar, hear your script before you spend a thing. The link's below, stackinspectors.com/creatify. So pick the one product you'd actually run an ad for. Build that one take, render it, and watch it back honestly. If it survives the first second, you've got it. Then go make the next one.